Hands up who loves their bodies.
Hands up if you love the body of the person next to you.
Love Your Body Day is one of the many community services that Eden provides to tackle bad body image and eating problems in New Zealand.
Creating support within the community is an important philosophy. Love Your Body Day is particularly concerned with some of the risk factors for eating disorders, which are things like body dissatisfaction, dieting, those kinds of issues.
By being here, you're signalling that you care about an issue that affects the health and well-being of hundreds of thousands of Kiwi girls and women.
Love Your Body Day is an attempt to get at the key risk factors and encouraging people to try and develop body satisfaction, not engage in dieting behaviours, because those are the things really that we know are some of the key risk factors for developing disordered eating.
It's really great to be here on this beautiful Auckland day with all of these beautiful Auckland people who all love their bodies. What we know is that the messages that we're getting mean that up to 80% of New Zealand women at some stage don't like their bodies.
I'm here today to support Eden in promoting body satisfaction, because I think it's important for women to try really hard, and for men too, to love their bodies as they are and focus on the positive.
There's so many images and messages out there that are telling women to change their bodies, they need to look a certain way. I think it's really important to have messages out there that are counteracting that, that are saying, hey, your body's great just as it is, and just love it, appreciate it and enjoy it, rather than trying to change it.
Alison Moore is a TV presenter, and yet she too suffered from eating difficulties. She is helping to support Eden by using her celebrity status to create positive messages in the media.
As a teenager and in my early 20s, I went down the crash diet path, and my weight went up and down quite wildly at the time. Funnily enough, it wasn't until I stopped all that insane behaviour that my weight stabilised, and I hadn't been on a diet in, oh God, this will be revealing how old I am, about 20 years. And just eating sensibly and not making food the sole focus of your life has transformed my life, certainly.
I haven't seen a women's magazine cover for a long time that hasn't had any reference to weight loss and 10 ways to get a flat stomach for summer, etc, etc.
Like Alison Moore, Sarah Lang works in the media. She is a journalist. Her eating difficulties began at the age of 16.
I'm from Wanganui, that's where I grew up. I lived there till I was 17. I moved to Wellington where I lived for a few years, and I've been in Auckland since, for 7 years now. I remember looking at my body and thinking, doesn't look quite right, it doesn't look how it's supposed to. I kind of went out at the hips and then again at the thighs, and I kind of thought that's not what you're supposed to look like. I think I was judging it by girls on TV and magazines really.
From newspapers, television and the internet, every day we are bombarded with messages about being thin and healthy. Fad diets, obesity epidemics and super thin supermodels have been slowly altering our perception of what a healthy body is.
All that does is make fat people feel terrible about themselves and make everybody else terrified of becoming fat. Most of the people who work at Eden have had some kind of eating difficulty or eating disorder themselves. And what clients of Eden report is that that's actually really helpful, because it's evidence that people can recover their lives.
When I look back, I realise it's probably about when I was 16 when I went on my first diet. When I went to the university hostel in Wellington, I gained a lot of weight. I was going to the gym for a couple of hours a day, and I thought that was good. I didn't realise that could be damaging to me. I thought that this is what you're supposed to be doing. At the time I thought I was a bit chubby, and looking back at photos I see my little stick-like arms, and I realised that wasn't the case at all. Towards the end of my first year I just suddenly snapped. I just started picking out on really fatty food and heaps of it, and this binging kind of went on for many months, and I put on an almost obscene amount of weight in a really short time.
I think secrecy and shame are some of the things that really, and the stigmatisation of the problem are some of the things that really prevent people from seeking support, seeking help, speaking to a family member or a health professional.
Every time I gave up the diet, I'd feel really good for a while, like really free, and I could eat whatever I wanted and I felt normal. And then eventually the messages would get back to me that I was too fat and I should really lose weight and start again. And
It was a few years ago I started thinking maybe this isn't the only way, and I think I was really wanting to stop the binging. I found the website for Eden and they were advertising the 12-week support group, so I went along to that because it said for body dissatisfaction, so I thought that's me.
The support groups are run by 2 facilitators, usually an Eden staff member and a contract facilitator, both of whom are really experienced running groups of people with disordered eating. And basically the groups are closed groups, so there's a sense of safety when people sign up for the groups. New people can't join once the first group has been run. And it just provides a forum, I suppose, for people to connect with one another, people from the community to connect with one another, to know that they're not alone in this problem.
You need to take bits of information from as many sources as you can, whether you go to a counsellor, a psychotherapist, a dietitian, an occupational therapist, support group.
And I found a few good books, read them, and that's basically when I decided that I wasn't going to diet ever again. And that was really the turning point in my life.
There's a whole range of things that you can try, and I think for me it's been incorporating them all together and taking bits out of each thing that I've done or read and learning from it as it applies to my particular situation.
Mount Roskill Grammar is one of 3 schools who educate their students in ways to prevent eating issues.
We have our school program, we go into other agencies and do workshops, we do training for health professionals, we work with school guidance counsellors.
Graham is one of the guidance counsellors at Mount Roskill. He has become heavily involved in the Be Wise program.
This is a completely student-led initiative. We go through the process of recruiting 12 body image leaders, and their role is working in the school. What the body image leaders do is raising awareness around what body image is, letting our students be aware that we all have this picture in our mind of how we feel we should look. What we're also involved with is breaking the myth around the perfect body, both for boys and for girls.
I think that it's absorbed from such a young age these days. I know that young people are presented in hospitals as young as 7 with serious eating difficulties, categorised as anorexia type practices, which is really frightening.
Eden's Body Image Leader program has been effective because of its unique approach to the students.
The biggest role we play is just being teachers and being role models. So we do a lot of teaching of Year 10 classes, so that's around 13, 14 year olds in their health classes, and we have a lesson plan and we sort of establish what body image leaders are, what they do around the school and things like that.
As a youth worker for Eden, Deb Levy has a strong passion for helping and encouraging young people. She is redefining how our youth perceive their body image.
My interest in youth work started a long time ago, and right through school I was volunteering in different organisations and for different programs that looked at developing young people. We provide training and resources and information and forums for them to develop their ideas. We want them to kind of draw on their natural wisdom and their understanding of what it means to be a young person at their school. Another really wonderful project the students did during the year was Drop In and Chat, and this was an initiative that the students started up to bring students into an environment where they could talk about these issues and could learn more.
I reckon boys in this century, in this time period, are facing approximately around the same pressures as girls are. So we try getting the same message across that, sure, body image is something around us, but we've got to be careful not to make it rule our lives and dominate ourselves.
Students could come in and during the lunch times that were specified, they could have a play on the computer with Photoshop and see the impact that photoshopping images has, the difference before and after.
The Dove Media video is a successful teaching aid that Eden and Mount Roskill use to demonstrate the artificial nature of the media.
They could see different resources and DVDs, and could also have a chat to the body image leaders if they had any issues about what services were available to support them in the school.
I think getting knowledge and information out there and having it accessible to teenagers is really important. One of our main messages that we try to get across in these classes is that You know, when we open a magazine, pictures are all manipulated themselves. They've been changed, they've been altered to sort of influence the way we think.
Just look at these magazines. You will see what's not true. That itself brings satisfaction to you. It consoles you in a way, and I reckon that's a good first step to start to improving your body image.
And the feedback that we get is learning about what's going on in these images and about these unrealistic images of beauty for young men and for young women has a big impact, because they suddenly realise, hey, it's not only that I don't look like this perfect image, that person doesn't even look like this perfect image. It's just not real.
If a student is struggling with or has issues around body image or how they feel about themselves, to go and talk with one of their peers is often a really good way in. And with the support of Eden, these young people are well trained to be able to listen effectively, to know, to be able to make the referral to either us as counsellors or onto Eden.
We really want to promote their own self-development, self-awareness, and their ability to kind of tap into the resources that we have and use them not just to help their schools, but to help themselves as well.
We don't receive any government funding at the moment. It's very difficult, I think, in the current funding environment for district health boards to allocate funding for early intervention.
When I got involved with Eden, it was more about trying to change my thought patterns. My behaviours would be good, but my thoughts were still troubling me a little bit, like guilt around eating things that were naughty or that you shouldn't.
One of the things that I really love seeing in the students is they get a real sense of righteous anger around the manipulation, and then they take that anger and turn it into energy that they then transmit into their projects and the messages they're giving around the school. Often the messages they're getting from Eden through the training are spreading by osmosis through the families.
This program was funded by New Zealand On Air.